I haven't posted anything on Lou's blog for 2 months now, which is quite a lot of time. I feel a little bit bad for it in some ways, but um, one of the positives is that I've been really busy with work, which just means I've been able to focus a bit of attention back into my career, I guess, which has been a challenge, particularly in the first few months after coming back from Germany and just struggling with concentration and being able to stay engaged. So in some ways it's good that I haven't had the time to blog. Combination of getting through the second term of school with the kids and trying to focus on work so I can continue to pay the bills has sort of disallowed me to keep the posts up. But I've had a few unwritten posts, half-written posts that I also just haven't got around to finishing. I sort of go to read through the drafts and get a bit demotivated for some reason. So I just thought I'd do a quick video post just to say hi. And one of the main things thought I'd talk about is on the 24th of May, we brought Lou home. When I say we brought Lou home, I'm just meaning her ashes. Unfortunately, obviously, it's not the physical Lou, but just I guess the remains. And that was only, that 24th of May wasn't very long ago, but I don't really know the answer why we didn't pick her up any sooner than that. Perhaps it's just a bit of a finalisation sort of feel. I think also we are still undecided right now on what we do with the ashes. We're talking about having a burial plot out there at Macquarie Park, or somewhere in some kind of cemetery burial plot. We've considered whether we bring her home. Even talked about sort of scattering some of the ashes. We'd like to scatter some of them in Telluride, which we'll probably do in January. But we just decided that we would pick her up regardless. We had a bit of a Jon and I actually thought that the ashes were still at the funeral home, and we had this running joke because the funeral home is in Chatswood, and we had this running joke that Lou would not be happy that she's spent all these consecutive nights in Chatswood. Now, Chatswood's a nice postcode, and I've lived there myself, but and Lou grew up in the West in the early stages, but I just don't think it's where she wanted to rest her final days, as snobby as it sounds. But we actually found out the day before we picked her up that she was actually at the crematorium still out there at Macquarie Park. Still, the reason we decided that Jon and I should quickly go out there and get her was this running joke was probably becoming a bit serious. So anyway, Jon and I went out there and picked her up on the 24th of May, and which was just a really sort of strange thing to do, I guess, to go in there and to collect the remains of someone that's just reduced to a few kilos of ash and bone, I guess. So it was a bit of a surreal experience, driving home and having this sort of cylinder of ashes sitting on your lap and just feeling a little bit awkward about the whole thing. Even making some light jokes about it with Jon. I guess we're able to do that, being so close, and trying to make the situation a little bit easier to deal with. We even went to the Buena Vista and bought a bottle of Verve and rested a glass on the ashes cylinder. Obviously no one in the pub knew what we had there with us, but a bit strange. And that night ended up being quite a fun night, against all odds. People, close friends of mine and family, knew that we were going to pick the ashes up, so they came into the house to check on us to see how things were going, and lots of people ended up coming over, and there was like about 30 people here towards later in the night and to early hours in the morning, so a bit of fun anyway. But the other part of the story of finally bringing Lou home is that Noah only asked me. I decided not to tell the kids, only because I was really worried about the way Evie would respond. Only because she's just so confused about the whole situation as it is anyway. And then because she takes things so matter of fact, I've just struggled to explain the fact about loose ashes and how that works. But Noah's across life and death, and he's across burials and cremations and that kind of thing. So he only asked me last Thursday, just as we were hopping in the car for me to drop him at school in the morning. He said, "Daddy, when are we picking up Mama's ashes?" And I was like, "Buddy, we picked them up a few weeks ago." And he's like, "Oh, I didn't know that." And I said, "Listen," I explained to him that Evie wouldn't understand as much as he would. And so I just sort of held back from saying anything. But since you're asking, I told him the details and said that she was at home with us now and in the bedroom and on the dresser there or whatever. And since that day, and it's been a week, he actually has been very, very emotional. And I think he's struggled to get his head around the fact that what's left of Lou is now just a few kilos. And he's asked lots of questions. We've done lots of Googling. He's been asking what the colour is. It's in a bit of a sealed canister, so we actually can't see, but we had a look online. And he's definitely been very disrupted, and he's been thinking about it a lot. He was even on the weekend. He was even just standing there in front of the dresser, just when I came in once, just sort of staring at the cylinder. Not exactly sure what was going through his head. I asked him, but it was he probably found it hard to explain. So, and he's been very emotional, very clingy, but he's still happy in the same way. But it just gets you thinking very deeply, while he's being so amazingly resilient and tenacious, that his mind is still very busy about his mum, and when things such a heavy hitting event comes along like this, that it can stir up a lot of emotion. So I've just made an extra effort this week to really give him more comfort and more love and spend a bit more time with him, and he seems to be doing quite well. And I think it's very good timing that school holidays are starting for Noah tomorrow, and so I can spend a bit more time with him and plan another little bit of a road trip and stuff like that. So a little bit strange, but yeah, I just haven't had the time to write a post. So I just thought I'd give you that update about Lou's ashes and the way Noah's reacted, and my beautiful babies. It's only 8 o'clock, 8:25 p.m. now. The kids have been asleep for an hour. Little baby Noah asleep. He's got a little froggy there that he's cuddling, and Evie's just here as well, and she's out like a light. And I'm just doing a little bit of work, where I seem to get through an hour or so of work each night once I put them to bed in this big quiet house with the three of us. Quite a long video post. Don't expect you to sit all the way through it, but I just thought I'd say hi, and I'll do my best to try and be a little more regular with the updates. Thanks for listening, and talk to you soon, guys. Cheers, bye.